Hello, friends. It's Thursday. That means it's time for the Tarot Topics Weekly Newsletter Recap. So happy to see you here today. My name's Christiana Gaudet. I am your Tarot Fairy Godmother. As we get started, of course, I want to give a special shout out to the members and the moderators. Thank you so much for being here. So, if you are here for the first time, you will need to subscribe in order to comment, and I hope you do. We welcome you to our community. So I do a weekly newsletter. It comes into your inbox every Wednesday. If you're not getting it, it's right in the description. You can read the newsletter because I archive them on my website, and you can subscribe to the newsletter so you never miss one. We do a different topic every week. And this week, the topic is finding the flow. And it's, maybe a little bit controversial in a way. Although I got a lot of support. Like as soon as it went out, I got a few emails from people sort of saying, oh, this makes sense when so many other teachers don't. I think there's probably a lot of other people who read it and are like, yeah, no. But let me tell you where I'm coming from. You may have heard of LOA, the Law of Attraction. The Law of Attraction, of course, popularized by Esther and, when he was alive, Jerry Hicks, who claim to channel a being called Abraham. And they have been very, very, very successful teaching the Law of Attraction. What is the Law of Attraction? Well, you may go back to like 2002, 3, 4, 5, around there, and you'd remember The Secret. And you may go all the way back to the 1970s and 80s, where you would remember a book called Creative Visualization by Shakti Gawain, teaches the same thing. So the idea that it didn't exist before Esther and Jerry made it popular, yeah, no. Where did it come from originally? Hermetic wisdom. It comes from the Emerald Tablet, which dates back to maybe 2000 AD or earlier. In the group of writings that were attributed to Hermes Trismegistus, who did not write books because gods don't write books. But there's an interesting connection for us as tarot people there. I didn't talk about this in the newsletter because there was a time that it was believed that Hermes Trismegistus, which means thrice great, was the designer and creator of tarot. So interesting connection there, right? Okay, so what is this concept? The concept is, and it's the same concept that we teach in witchcraft. It's the same concept that we teach in magic. That if you can, Claire C., thank you so much. Thank you for being a member for 3 years. Thank you for your very kind and generous super chat, which says, fantastic coverage of this subject. Thanks. Appreciate it. So the basic idea is that if you want something, and it can be anything, it can be better health, it can be more money, it can be a beautiful necklace, it can be a great relationship, like anything, from personal growth to materialism. If you want something, all you have to do is to be able to visualize yourself having it in the present, in the first person, and truly believe that it can be, and thus it shall be. Now, we teach this in magic too, and we may throw in some herbs, some candles, some crystals, but we teach the same thing. The idea of visualizing something in order to make it so is legit. It is absolutely legit, but where I think the LOA people, some of them, can get a little fundamentalist is when they believe that any person can at any time create any set of circumstances for themselves. No limitations. Lumen, good to see you. Thank you for becoming a member. We so appreciate you. And just in time for our members only live stream coming up on the 31st, I hope you'll join us. And remember, there is a whole playlist of members-only material. So thank you, thank you, thank you. So appreciate it. All right. So, right, Trey Cameron, no limitations. Saturn would beg to differ. Right. And like this is the same thing that happens in Christianity with prosperity gospel, which is this idea that God, the universe, whatever, wants you to be happy, healthy, and wealthy. And if you are not those things, it's because you're doing something wrong. In prosperity gospel, it's because you've fallen out of favor with God. In law of attraction, it's because, well, clearly you didn't want it enough. You didn't believe it enough. It's your fault. And I find this very, very dangerous because it causes us to blame ourselves when things don't go well. And it causes others to feel relieved of the burden of compassion, empathy, and mutual aid because, well, you must not have wanted it enough. So I find it difficult, but at the same time, it's true that the visualization, the positive energy, like I hate toxic positivity, but I also know there is power in positive thought. It's a nuance. So if you're not capable of nuanced thinking, you're not going to be capable of doing this. So why did I call it the flow? Funny story. I have a client, well, I have many clients, and I have many clients that I've been lucky enough to serve for many, many, many years, given I've been in business for about 30 years. One of those clients is like a lot of my clients, like y'all are woo people along here with me, most of you, right? Many of my clients are not really woo people. They talk to me. They're doctors, they're attorneys, they're accountants. They talk to me because what I say makes sense to them and helps them. And there it is. So one such client said to me, you know what I've figured out? Like, it's not exactly magic, but there is a way that you can just be with the energy of the universe and paying attention to what's going on, and it feels better and things happen more easily. And I was like, yeah, dude, there it is. There it is. Now, there's also this influencer that I follow on TikTok who's a musician, and he writes these songs that are kind of silly, but they're all really spiritual. And there's one where he talks about God is a certain kind of flow. And I love that. And so when I think about it, like for me, when I am in that place of really feeling like I'm working with the universe is working with me, I am able to visualize what I want. I am able, if things don't go the way I want, to pivot quickly and find a solution without being upset that the universe is out to get me or my magic didn't work. To that I will say, my mom used to say God answers all prayers, but sometimes the answer is no. There's a million reasons why our magic doesn't work, right? So we're going to do readings about that, and I want to go through and look at some of your comments first because there's some really smart comments here. So I'll look at the comments and then we'll go over and we'll do the readings. And thanks so much for having this conversation with me. Let's see. Oh, Claire C., a collection of your newsletters would be a best-selling book. Thank you. Thank you. And Justine, so good to see you here on a Thursday. Let's see. Adela, nice to see you agreeing. It's a super old idea, right? This concept is a super old idea. Von Ray, thanks for being a member for 3 years. I have the Creative Visualization book. I haven't gotten around to reading it yet. It's actually valuable. It's actually worth reading. Okay. Okay, Ben, Libra does tarot. Thanks for being a member for more than 2 years, and thanks for being a moderator. The difference between visualizing yourself having it and doing the work to get it, and visualizing yourself having it and feeling you're entitled to it or should just be given it, whatever the work looks like. Right. Even when you study witchcraft, like even the most hardline witchcraft, like Bucky's Big Blue Book, right? Gardenerian as it could possibly be, will say, do the magic, but also do the mundane work associated with it, right? You can't just pray for it. You have to do the actual work. Both, well, absolutely, absolutely. Madiha Ness, thanks for being here. Thanks for being a member for more than 2 years. I have a hard time having personal time for things I love doing. For things I love doing and learning. I've spent years of schooling that I had to abandon. It wasn't that I didn't want it enough to follow through. I had to choose food and shelter, providing for my family. Yeah, thank you. I mean, I'm sorry, but yes, exactly. Exactly. Lumen, and again, thanks for being a new member. You've been in this community for a while. We're so happy to have you at this next level. Yay. I also think that in manifestation, it comes to us not exactly the way we want it. Yeah. It comes, but it often looks different than our vision. Doesn't mean you didn't get what you asked for. So true, so true. And Gianna, thanks for being here. Thanks for being a member. Love your mom's quote. I would really love to write a book of quotes from my mother and grandmother. They were far from perfect and they screwed me up plenty, as all mothers screw up their kids. But they were pretty damn good and they had a lot of wisdom. So there you go. Okay. Gemini Sun, woo, person here, right? Well, that's why I love hanging out in this community. Like, if you're a professional reader, you recognize you don't market to this community. You market to the broad community, right? But we want to hang out with our own. There it is. And Trey, and again, Trey, thanks for being here. Thanks for being a member for more than a year. My favorite LOA teacher was this dude who was in the Secret documentary. Thank you, who later got arrested for killing people in a sweat lodge. I remember that. Yes. Too often members of our community sort of, Jeannie, glad you're here. You have not missed any readings. We're still in the chit-chat portion of the program. But I'm glad you're here, and I am going to move on over to CardCam and get going to the readings. The readings are about manifestation, energy, connection to the universe, any of those things. Let's talk about it. And let's get over to CardCam. I had a funny thing. As I'm getting more and more bold with the technology as I'm learning the technology. And IT John's not on the premises right now. And I was trying to do a thing, setting up here. I was trying to do something special. I screwed it up completely and had to call IT John and say, help, I'm not going to be able to broadcast if you don't help me undo what I just did. And you know what the IT fix was? The quick fix? Unplug it and plug it back in and it'll go back to normal. And that's what happened. Trey, I love this background too. I really do. And I put it up, and in fact, it was my background I was trying to change. I love this background. I put it up right before June because I wanted to, definitely call attention to Pride Month. But I like to switch things up, so I am trying to change my background, which is how I got in trouble today. So enjoy it. It's here. And my solidarity with all people will not change as my background changes, just so you know. Right, come on, Pride. And I mean, should I just stay in Pride colors like till the election? I mean, I could do that too, right? I could do that. All right. Ness, I got your question. I see it. No problem. Okay. Baby Cakes. IT John is such a blessing to this community. He so is. And never, I think, would he have expected that he would end up serving this community. He serves this community because he married me. But he was the guy, man. He was the guy in the very beginning when I first started dating him who helped me see that this could be a business and that this is what I could do. It's what I wanted to do, but I didn't see how I could. So he has always been the guy. Like, before he was a blessing to the community, he was a blessing to me and remains so, helping me build a business. So there it is. Lumen, it's always unplug it and plug it back in. Had the same convo with the person caring for my installation, which involves tech. Did you turn it off and on again? Yep. Della, my dad did IT for years. I love IT people. I really do. They think in a certain way. Gemini Sun, baby cakes, thank you so much. All right, here we go. I promised you readings. Enough chit chat. Let's read. Jeannie Mnuchin, you are up first. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being a member for more than 3 years. Oh, and obviously, Lightseers Tarot today. Oh, one more thing from Della. Restart, check that it's on, make sure it is plugged in, read the instructions. We have a word for read the instructions. Riff 'em. Read your effing manual. Riff 'em. How'd you figure it out? Riff 'em. Yeah, there it is. All right, Jeannie. It sometimes feels like I need to work really hard for results instead of an easy synchronicity of flowing events. I understand completely. And I will say it, I will do the reading, but I have to say this too. There are people who say, and they're teachers, who say, if it's not an easy flow, it's not for you. And I disagree with that 100%. Because sometimes I think the universe is like, what, you want it? You want it? Okay, here, come get it. Come get it. Come get it. And it's hard. And the universe makes it hard because if it were easy, everyone would do it. Right? Okay. I've accepted this, but wonder in what areas of my life I could have more ease and flow and how to achieve that. What a great question. In what areas of your life could you have more ease and flow and how would you achieve that? In your own mind, and your own mind controls everything. And you are a haver of amazing ideas. I mean, one of the reasons things don't flow easily in your life is you do things that like nobody else thinks to do. And then you have to try to fit that in to other models that are existing. And how does this fit? Because it's a little different. And so I think in a way, like that's the source of the problem. And you can't change who you are and what you do because like that's the whole point, is to be who you are and do what you do. So I think one thing is to recognize that perhaps the source of some of the dis-ease is that it's significant. What you do is significantly different than what a lot of people do and understand. And if you could take pride in that fully and market that and market yourself to yourself, like we're all marketing ourselves to ourselves all the time, right? If you can market yourself to yourself and others as, yeah, what I do is a little different, it's a little unique, and not do it in an apologetic way. Don't be apologetic to yourself and don't be apologetic to others. I think that might flip the switch a little bit. Let me know what you think. Space, Wooju, so good to see you. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being a member. Thanks for using members only emojis. We appreciate you. I know this is a little bit off topic, but do you do Lenormand card readings? So that's an interesting question. Do I advertise myself as a Lenny reader? No, I do not. I'm fairly new at it. I've only been doing it for a few years, and I've only within the past couple of months gotten to a place where I'm like, oh, I see how I can do this, and I see how this works for me. So I have started incorporating Lenormand cards in with tarot readings when the situation calls for it. So there it is. All right. Melissa, good to see you. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being a member for more than 2 years. Thanks for using members only emojis. A most interesting topic. Yeah. I absolutely love the feeling of being in the flow. Yes. And that's a good question. Like, can you sort of take a breath and think and Feel what that feels like. Can you remember what that feels like? It's a good thing. Oh, Jeannie, sounds good, and I'll work on that. Good, 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 good. I absolutely love the feeling of being in flow, but I often wonder if I disrupt my own flow with unnecessary worry and self-doubt. Melissa, we all do. Every single one of us. Oh my gosh, yeah. That's the human condition, I think. Stealing questions from the newsletter. Yay, that makes me feel good. What am I doing that creates disconnection? And what are some practices I can employ to better stay in the flow? Let's do it. Okay. What are you doing that creates disconnection? Yeah, it is exactly as you say, and it's all of us. That's not just you. It's not just a Melissa thing. That's an every human thing. And I probably didn't say this in the newsletter because I didn't think about it, but addendum, actually I did say it. I did. There was a sentence there that the thing that will take you out of the flow quickest is self-doubt, which is interesting because we do need to question ourselves. We always need to ask, like, am I right here? Am I good? We always need to ask, but there's a difference between self-questioning and self-doubt. That would be a good newsletter topic right there, wouldn't it? Interesting. So yeah, it's exactly that, Melissa, exactly. And what creates disconnection for you is the same thing that creates disconnection for all of us. Nothing separate, nothing more, nothing terrible. It is that unnecessary worry and self-doubt. And so what are some practices you can employ to stay better in the flow? Do not let your own self-perception be defined by Eddie Haskell and the other a-holes you deal with at work. Or a-holes elsewhere. Like, don't let the suspected beliefs, behaviors, words, whatever, of other people come into how you see yourself. Except for the people who love you. The people that love you can reflect back to you, That's one. And number two, when things don't go well, sometimes things don't go well, and it's our own fault, and that's okay, and we can learn from that, but not be bad to ourselves. Like, don't S-talk yourself if you made a mistake. Like, give yourself grace when you make a mistake. Own it, correct it, move on. And yeah, I think that's really what it is. I think it's about how you see yourself is really what it comes down to. And please see yourself the way those of us who love you see you. There it is. Jeannie, this is smart. Jeannie says, self-questioning is about something specific. Right. Self-doubt is toward one's whole being. You're so right. That's so true. That's so brilliant. I may steal that from you. I love that. All right. So, Gemini Sun, thanks for being here. Thanks for being a member. Thanks for being a moderator. Thanks for using members-only emojis. How do I attune to the flow? Because I'm not currently understood. And I think there can be a moment, I think there's value in that, where there can be a moment where we're dysregulated, out of the flow, not good. What do I do? Okay, I'm in the flow, I'm not in the flow. I think for all of us, that's what we have to do, to know what the flow feels like. And then to recognize in it, not in it. But not in it should not be a cause of shame, any more than, oh, my shoelace is untied. Because we will all be in, out for all of our lives, whether we know it or not. Being conscious of it is the key, right? So, how do you attune to the flow? Do you have ancestral generational issues specific to perhaps male family members that put some things in your head that are not helpful? Like, there may be some real generational healing you need to do. It could be an absent thing. I don't know. I don't know what it is. Gemini, I've been out a while. But like with the King of Pentacles reversed, I want to say, in what way has generationally the patriarchy affected you, and how do you heal from that, number one? Oh, yes. Yeah, that's the one. That's the one. And because it's King of Pentacles, then either in with that or just additionally or both, how you feel about money and your relationship with money. It is those things that need some healing right now. Those are the things that are keeping you from being in that energy. So do that work. And I'm not saying you have to heal from all of it. Like we do layer by layer by layer, right? And by the time we pass away, hopefully we've done a bunch. So you don't have to do it all. But that, I think, is where the work needs to be done. All right. Gianna. Good to see you. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being a member. I'm in a big curveball part of my life, it seems. Okay, so that's a direct quote from the newsletter where I say, sometimes life will throw you a curveball. Here we are. I'm sorry. I don't know why it's here, but can the cards help me with what lesson this is trying to teach me? And I will say this. I don't know that every curveball, you know what I mean by curveball, right? I don't believe that every curveball is meant to teach a lesson, but there is certainly something we can learn from every curveball, right? I am a believer that sometimes crap just happens, So when we look at your current curveball, oh, yeah, there is, yes. Okay, this one, Gianna, you are absolutely correct in my opinion. This is deliberate by whoever guides you, universe, guides, angels, deities, however you see that. Deliberate, planned to absolutely help you. And it's about real healing. It's about real healing. It's about real spiritual enlightenment. It's about releasing things that hold you back. It's about courage. It's about recognizing your strength. It's about recognizing the power of your knowledge, your brain, your voice, and your heart, and not letting anyone else tell you any different. That's what it's about. Hang in there. And let me know if that makes sense or if you have extraneous questions, because that's big and powerful. Lumen, thanks for being here and thanks for becoming a member. I'm so excited. The newsletter was so spot on for me today. Before I read it, I had a moment at my altar asking about flow and the balancing between advancing and just flowing. It's challenging. I feel today with so much access to information and eyes on what we're doing and what others are doing in the world, right? I would like to ask, what is my brand of flow that maybe I'm not seeing? And how can I tap into that flow and sustain it as a daily practice through what seems like the societal push to always do more? Yeah, I love social media. Without social media, we're on social media right now, right? I love social media. But I also recognize how incredibly damaging it can be. Yeah. And when it's damaging? It's when we recognize that we are comparing our insides with other people's outsides. That's the thing. Oh, Gianna, so grateful for you too. Thank you. All right. So Lumen, your brand of flow that maybe you're not seeing, and how can you tap into it and sustain it as a daily practice? And the answer is, here's the brand that I see here. And we all have many different brands in many different ways. And Gemini Sun has asked a really hard question that I'd like everyone to answer if you have an answer, and I'll ring in on it too. Anyone have any ideas where to start to heal with generational trauma, father figures, and relationship with money? Go. All right, I'll answer it as well, but let's see what other people have to say. So Lumen, lumen, lumen. Here's the thing. I think you have the ability, as part of your brand and in your communication with yourself in your daily practices, to see through the BS. That when you see all the pressure and all the people online who are just apparently crushing it every day, to recognize that as soon as they turn the camera off, they're probably not. And to not let the influencers influence you into feeling like you are less than. To be the person who's like, yeah, y'all do you over there. I'm going to be over here doing me and I'm just fine. So to be strong enough in yourself that you can learn from others without feeling that you are less than. So that's one. That's one. And I feel like that daily practice could be anything. It could be like, what do you do in the morning to feel good, you know? Is it just like, man, this is the best cup of coffee I will ever have each and every day? Is it listening to a song and dancing? Is it a prayer? Is it a meditation? Is it a candle? Is it going for a walk, going for a swim? I mean, what is it? What is something that you can do first thing? It could just be when you talk to yourself, you're looking in the mirror, where you're like, you know, I'm not accountable to any of my feed. I'm accountable to me. I think that could do it. Okay, let me know what you think. All right. Von Ray, so good to see you. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being a member for more than 3 years. I seem to have a problem with anything flowing to me. I always blame myself, right? Because our culture tells you to blame yourself, right? And I feel like I did something wrong to cause the lack of flow. Yes, I am so sorry. This is exactly the thing. It's a hard thing to get over, yeah. Yeah, because it's spiritual brainwashing. Of course it's hard to get over. We've all had to get over it. Lumen, I'm accountable for me. That resonates. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, Von Ray, I want to say that I'm going to read Von Ray's question uninterrupted because I think so many of us could relate to this. The answer will be specifically for Von Ray, but you may find there's some things there that are helpful for you as well. I seem to have a problem with anything flowing to me. I always blame myself and feel like I did something wrong to cause the lack of flow. It's a hard thing to get over. What can I do to help me get over it? A lot of us need to get over this. Recognize it for the BS that it is. Recognize that magic and alchemy are complex. And honestly, if you're on this very difficult planet and you ate today and you have a roof over your head and you're still breathing, you're doing something right. Because I know a lot of people who don't have that. And I think a lot of the fault is with spiritual teachers that say, it's easy, it's easy, it's easy. It's not easy. I think there is so much power here. Look at this. 3 freaking major arcana cards here for Von Ray and for all of us who struggle with this. First of all, get rid of the teaching that says it has to be easy. Get rid of the teaching that says it's your fault. It's not your fault. Second, recognizing you are doing the work, you are doing the magic, you are showing up, you do a good job celebrating yourself. And third, spiritual mysteries are mysteries for a reason. You know, there are those who like to say that higher power gave us all the clues in a written piece of material. Sadly, that's not true. We just have clues, we just have breadcrumbs. And you are doing a good job following the breadcrumbs. Now, further question, what can you do to kind of speed up the process? I'm going to say, Von Ray, take a huge amount of pride in yourself. You are not a person that I worry about when it comes to hubris or egotism. So I can say very clearly and fully, with my full chest to you, Von Ray, be proud of every single thing you do. Be proud of yourself. Be proud of your entire life and everything you do and everything you create. That will help. Oh, and Gemini Sun, check it out. There are a few people with some, who have tagged you with some good ideas. So definitely check that out. Okay. Trey Cameron, so good to see you. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being a member for more than a year. Quick reminder to all the members, especially new members, all the members, we have a members only live stream coming up on the 31st. Tarot and tunes. We're going to have some fun. The link is already up. Okay, Trey, how do I get back into the flow of writing? Oh, I know how hard that is. I seem to be stuck in a rut and keep losing motivation. I know you talked about me potentially missing an opportunity, which kind of scares me. Don't be scared, don't be scared, don't be scared, please. Don't be scared. You're young, you've got plenty of time. But the thing is, the very thing that keeps you from getting into the writing when you need to, like now, is the very thing, like the thing that you're afraid of is the thing that keeps you from doing it. Honestly, I think you, me, everybody else who writes, anyone who's published or wants to be published, Von Ray, I'm looking at you too. I think we probably, most of us, have a sneaking feeling in the back of our mind that maybe we have nothing important to say, maybe we're not good at this, maybe this is going to suck, any of those things. And yet we also really fear that if we don't share our thoughts and our ideas, they'll be lost, and that we really do have something important to say. And so I think all of us who are stuck in this, and Trey, I could be reading for myself right now with this, really, it's so hard. I think we need to recognize that writers are a particularly nuanced kind of people. We're a particular kind of person. And like anyone who says, I love to write, I look at them funny because I feel like most writers don't love to write. We love it when it's flowing. We love it when it's happening. Right, Trey, every creative person, Jeannie, are you listening to this? Every creative person is self-critical, constantly criticizing their own work. It's true. And so I think you're just caught in that. I've never met a creative person who isn't extremely self-critical of their own work. Yeah, there it is. So I think that's what it is. And I think when we get caught in that, we just have to be like, yeah. And here I am in the community of writers, and we all deal with this. Febborn, I've given up. Oh, no, you haven't, Febborn. Oh, no, you haven't. Nobody gives up on my watch. Nobody does. No. No. We have moments when we give up, but then we come back. And so for you, Trey, how do you, Trey, get back? Sheer stubbornness and tenacity. Because what else are you going to do? And one of the most helpful things that I ever heard, and I've shared this with you before, I'm going to share it again, is buy chalk. What's it mean? Butt in chair, hands on keyboard. Don't think about anything else. Just sit down and put your hands on the keyboard. There it is. Yeah, it's so true, Trey. Even if it's great to others, you'll still see all of the flaws. At some point, you just have to put it out there. Yeah, absolutely. Hey, Jackie, thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it. Oh, Claire is recommending Nancy Hendrickson. I agree. All right, well, thank you, Trey. I think that was cathartic for everyone who is creative, which is just about everyone here. So, yeah, there it is. And I'll tell you something, because I have a client list that includes names you all would recognize, not from this group, but like from TV. from from the world, from politics, from the TV, all of that. And I promise you, they have the same doubts. Those people who have made it have the same doubts we do. Just saying. Della, butt in chair, hands on keyboard by Chuck. Oh, Febborn, there you go. I'm with you, Trey. Let's put our fingers on the keyboard or pen to paper. Yeah, just do it. Just do it. Yeah. And I can be speaking to myself as easily as I'm speaking to you. Like, feel it. All right. Smile Soul 20, thanks for being here. Thanks for being a member for more than 3 years. It's great to see you. The next question that I see is Claire C. Claire, thanks for being here. Thanks for being a member for more than 3 years. I try to stay in the flow, but current issues really get my emotions stirred, same, and I am out of the flow. What should be my focus when I feel this way? So yeah, when you're bugged, and it could be bugged by what's going on in your own life, what's going on in your family, what's going on in the community, in the nation, on the planet. It could be anything. What should Claire do when that happens? And again, this could be helpful to all of us. Judgment. Isn't it amazing the major arcana cards that are coming up for these very powerful questions? I think, Claire, it's recognizing that everything that is happening now is a reckoning with the past. We cannot heal from the past until we reckon with it, and that reckoning can be really scary and unfortunate. That's true. And also the other thing I'm going to say is catastrophic thinking. That it's really easy to get into catastrophic thinking. This is terrible. It's the end of the world. And I mean, some of the things we're worried about really are catastrophic in a lot of ways. But I really believe that catastrophic thinking never works well, especially in a catastrophe. So recognize it's all part of the process and don't catastrophize it. I think that's going to be the best. Oh, Justine, yes. We just talked about judgment, for sure. Okay. Here we go. Okay, Justine, so good to see you. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being a member. Thanks for being a moderator. Thanks for being a member for more than 2 years. And thanks for being here. Decision fatigue, overthinking, and anxiety around the decision-making process in general plagues me heavily on a regular basis. Working my process as I have been reluctantly over the last year, I've come to understand there really are 2 different bases or sides of me from which I'm basing my choice making at any given time throughout my day. Almost like 2 different methods or techniques I'll use to judge from and make decisions based off of. Thanks for using members only emojis. How can I know it's okay to go with what I would have normally done decision versus the strategic operational decision? So when we look at your decision-making process, I'm going to say, this is hard, Justine. You know I love you, right? I'm going to say all of your decision-making processes are flawed. Every single one. Not your fault. They're all flawed. It's all flawed. Because on the very basic, I don't care if you make decisions by, throwing spaghetti against a wall. I don't care how you make decisions. It's all flawed. Thank you for not hating me. You're agreeing with me. Why is it flawed? Not your fault. It's generational trauma. It's the way, excuse me for saying it, but it's the way you've been trained. You have been trained not to trust yourself. And so instead of just saying, well, what is Justine thinking and what does Justine want to do? And What are Justine's issues and exceptionalities that make it hard to make good decisions, and how do I work around that? Instead of doing that, you're just like, okay, I can't be trusted to make a decision, so I have these methods. I think it's about recognizing that you can trust yourself. I think you are really, really afraid that you can't trust yourself. And unfortunately, I think your upbringing has caused you to believe that. Or events in your family. I'm not blaming any particular people. But generationally, whatever, you have been trained to not believe yourself and to not trust yourself. And then how can you trust your own decisions? So that's what you have to undo. That's the thing, and it's hard. But that's what it is, in my opinion. And I'm going to say something else. I think sometimes with decision making for you, you make the decisions be super, super important when they really aren't. So I think if you could ask yourself, like, well, if I do this versus this, what's the worst thing that's going to happen? Like, what is the value here? Like, what is the risk? What's the collateral? And if it's no big deal, then it's no big deal. And I'm someone who can get freaked out about what to order from a restaurant. You should see me in the tarot cards poring over the menu before I order. So I understand. But there it is. All right, Free Shadow. You are up next. Good to see you. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being a member. Thanks for using members only emojis. What can I do to help me tune into the flow and work with it better? I don't think sometimes, I think I sometimes don't listen as well as I could. That's probably all of us. Okay. Same thing a lot of us here have to do. Relieve yourself of generational programming. Relieve yourself of all of the things that you have been taught, and then decide what really works. I think sometimes you can't listen to the flow, to the universe, to your own higher self. I think a lot of it is Free Shadow. You have had some people around you who have been sources of wisdom who weren't very wise. And I think it's a matter of jettisoning those things from you. And from there, I think you'll feel the flow. Does that make sense? Let me know. There it is, Justine. Retraining your brain to trust yourself. Yep, there it is. Okay, Von Ray. Oh, I see you have the Creative Visualization book. I see that. Yep. Okay, who's up next? It is Ben. Libra Does Tarot. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being a member for more than 2 years. Thanks for using members only emojis, and thanks for being a moderator. I've been feeling very out of the flow lately. I feel I've been pulled in a few different directions. How can I get back into the flow? I believe in the power of the universe, but just lately feel blocked from tapping into it, I guess. I hate when it feels that way. Honestly, Ben, I think you've got a lot on your plate. You've got your regular job. You've got your divinatory job. You've got friends. You've got family. You've got a lot going on. And I think a lot of it is you're really busy. When you say pulled in a lot of different directions, you're busy. And I think that for you particularly, when you get to a place, a certain kind of busyness, then you just have to handle the things. Handle the things. And so when you're just handling the things, there's not a lot of time to check in. And so, give yourself some grace, because you may not feel the universe with you, but the universe is with you and you are still guided. B, recognize that you're handling everything as well as a person possibly could. And then C, take some time for yourself, breathe, and you'll be right there. It's okay. I think it's really just being busy and being a little hard on yourself. Free shadow. Yes, it really does make sense to kick some people out of my head. They influence me too much and I'm no longer on the same path as they are. Ooh, there it is. There it is. Justine, the word reckoning has a bit of a punishment-esque vibe to it. So that's funny because it's also the name of a Grateful Dead album. And so, like for me, reckoning is a wonderful thing. But I do think that there's been like a lot of punitive energy around you in your life. And so that is a thing, right? Absolutely. Okay. Vaishali, looking for cards on this topic. So your ability to be in the energetic flow, you have a hard time trusting yourself. And if you don't trust yourself, you can't trust what happens next. The key for you, Vaishali, is you have to learn to trust yourself. All right. This is such a fun topic. I mean, it's heavy, but it's fun too, right? In a way. In a way. Okay, hang on a minute. I just... Here we are. Mediha Ness, good to see you. You're coming up. Actually, I'm going to do you now. And then I'm going to go back and I'm going to grab DH. And then we'll keep going. Okay. So, Mediha Ness, thanks for being a member for more than 2 years. We appreciate you. My question is, even if I really want to continue, I feel like I won't have the time or energy to follow through with the Vedic astrology classes for the fall. Will I be able to fit everything in? Well, there's can you and then there's should you. And when we look at, just kind of realistically, you have a lot you need to do. Is there a way you can put those classes on hold, do them in the winter, do them another time? Don't give up on it. It's not like, oh, I have to give up on this. It's just right now I don't have time, but I will get to it soon. And I think that's the way it needs to be. And a lot of us, and I do this all the time. And I have to say, here's what I tell myself. When I have to put something off that I really want to do because I got to, Maslow's hierarchy, you got to take care of food and shelter first. What I say to myself is this: I am so blessed to be a person who has more things on the planet that I really want to do, embrace, and learn than time to do those things. Boredom is the worst thing in the world, and I am so grateful I am never bored, and I am so grateful that I have so many interesting things to explore. And do it when you can, and that's the key. Justine, I would love to know why you would want that. And the thing I would say, Justine had a revelation to find a Bible study group. Now, I've been in some that have been fabulous. I would say if you want to do that, find one that is not fundamentalist. That's really the key. Find someone who is studying it from a non-fundamentalist perspective. That would be the key. And from that perspective, it can be super helpful. Oh my gosh, Ness, I'm jealous of people who have no interest in anything. They watch TV and hang out and relax. Yeah, no, don't be. They're miserable. They're bored. I promise you. Okay. DH, good to see you. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being a member for more than a year. What will help me stay in the flow? What's my biggest distraction and what will help me get back on track? Well, the thing that is your biggest distraction is also the thing that will help you get back on track. I think you are a very deep thinker, and I think you like to puzzle out and tease out all the things. Spiritual things, intellectual things, all kinds of things. And I think sometimes you get into that place where you're not seeing the forest for the trees. And you've dissected it to such a minute level that you're not in it anymore. That's what I think happens. Just thinking. Justine, I don't know, man. I would say the book of Ecclesiastes. Like, if you really want some great wisdom from the Bible, try Ecclesiastes. See what you think. I would say that is definitely my favorite book of the Bible. And there's just so much wisdom there. Try that and see what you think. And I would argue, Justine, tarot was not playing a part in your spiritual life. Tarot was playing a part in you, in your, like, the way you were using tarot wasn't spiritual. That's what I'm saying. And I'm really grateful that, like, you're figuring that out, but still staying with it to figure it out. So good luck with that, Justine. That sounds terrifying to me. Terrifying, but good luck. Good luck. Okay. Just because I don't think that what you think exists where you think it exists. Terrifying. Right, Della agrees with me. Like, there's no such thing as that. No. Unless maybe, like, if you find a unity church or a UU, you might find it. Maybe even a congregational church that is open and affirming, but primarily what you're going to find, especially where you live, is not going to be pretty. Not at all. Be careful. All right. All right, here we go. Barbie Bird, you're up next. Good to see you. Do the cards have any advice for me on how to keep in the flow during this weird time? My energy is so low. Maybe I just need a pep talk. Here it is. Honestly, Barbie, your energy is low because you're doing hard thing. Hard. You're doing a hard thing. I would say your energy is exactly right, appropriate for what you're doing. Give yourself time, give yourself grace. You should be in your downtime lying on the couch watching TV or whatever. Just do what you have to do right now and give yourself time to acclimate. It's all good. It's all good. You don't need to do more than what you're doing right now because it's a lot. Congratulate yourself for doing a lot and let it be. That's what I would say. Justine, there are definitely some interesting comments to read. So if you're looking for spiritual community, again, look for the UU, look for Unity Church or Unitarian Universalist. Both of those might offer what you need without enslaving you. So you could look for that. Just be careful because there's a lot of potential for abuse there. All right. All right. Where am I? That was Barbie Bird. And Ness, Mediha Ness, sort of a follow-up question. You're trying to manifest time and energy for all the things you love. Will you have it? Ultimately, yes. In the fall, not necessarily, but ultimately, yes. Yes, yes, yes. All right. D9, you are up next. How can I be in the flow for having more loving and genuine relationship? Love yourself first. Be in the flow loving yourself. Be in the flow having confidence in yourself. Be in the flow enjoying the things that you're doing. And the rest will happen naturally. So, Justine, if you do that, we want to report. Let us know. Let us know. Okay. Della, I don't know what I can ask. Maybe about my gentleman caller opening up to me, or about the getting almost 30 and the associated feelings of myself. So, just talking about being in the flow there. I think the whole thing for you, Della, you know what this means to me, right? That you have to fully be you without apology. And the more that you are fully you without apology, the better the flow will be. End of freaking story. And there it is. Yeah, go ahead, Ness. All right. Teresa, do I want you to hoe it up? If that's what the authentic you feels like doing, by all means, just do it safely. Just do it safely. If that's what authentically feels right for you. Yeah, Justine, let me know how it goes. What you will not find in those places are people telling you you're bad and wrong for being who you are. All right, Teresa, thanks for being here. Thanks for being a member. Thanks for being a moderator. Thanks for being a member for more than 2 years. And thank you for using members-only emojis. What am I doing that creates disconnection, and what can I do to become connected from the newsletter? I think you get into fights in your own head with yourself where there's a part of you telling you that you're not good enough and you can't do it. I think you have to stop fighting with yourself and start believing in yourself. I think it is that simple. I mean, I know it's not that simple. Easy to say, hard to do, but there it is. I think that's what it is. Okay. All right, here we go. Von Ray, this isn't my question for the reading, but I wanted to come back to what you said about the universe answering with no if you don't get what you're asking. If someone had believed for a long time and still nothing, wouldn't that be considered a no, just curious? Not necessarily. Not necessarily. Because the no can be not today, but yes tomorrow. Like if you die and you never got what you wanted, that would definitely be a no. So it's like, okay, I want tickets to the Eras Tour in October, and someone has to give them to me because I certainly can't afford them. That's what I'd like to manifest. If October comes and goes and my butt is not in a seat at the Eras Tour, that manifestation did not work, and that's perfectly fine. The answer was no, I had other things to do. But if it's about my personal success, if it's about the relationships I want to have, you have all of your life. That's the difference. Ness, do you really want to talk about religion? Oh, that's a that's a YouTube channel. Yeah. I would just remind like anyone who is studying a sacred text, Bible, Quran, any of that, recognize that you're not reading it in the original language and recognize that it has been translated and retranslated not by scholars, but by politicians. Just remember that. Okay. Okay, Gemini Sun. Where to start to heal with generational trauma, father figures, and relationship with money. I love the Nancy Hendrickson suggestion. I love all the suggestions. Read through them. I am going to say EMDR. Look it up. It's amazing. EMDR. Seriously, look it up. If you have health insurance, it will probably be covered. Von Ray, thank you for asking the second question. It was a really smart question. Okay, Anne, thanks for being here. Thanks for being a member. Thanks for using members-only emojis. Great to see you. Definitely coming into the awareness of not being in the flow for a while now. Can I have some practical guidance on how I can get back into the flow? I mean the good flow. Right, I understand, because there is a whole other flow, right? I get it, yep. How does Anne get back into the good flow? Stop feeling guilty. You're feeling guilty about something. You're feeling like something is your fault when it's not. Allow yourself to have some fun. Allow yourself to be playful. And if the people around you are not being supportive, don't listen to them and don't let them piss in your Cheerios. Those things will help. Oh, Dello, this is smart. If you can't be positive about something, try to be neutral first. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Okay, Julia Bonesteel, so good to see you. Thanks for being a member for more than 2 years. Oh, that's fabulous. Great. Oh, and Lumen has shared some good stuff too. Okay, just scrolling through, looking for more questions. Lots of good conversation. Okay, where am I? I don't want to miss anyone. Baby cakes, good to see you. I've been trying to manifest the right job position for the whole year. I feel like it's within reach and it needs the right time to come to me. How do I get more in the flow and manifest it better so the perfect job comes to me this year and not make me search for many months like last time? Honestly, maybe don't look for the perfect job. Look for the job that you can handle. It doesn't have to be perfect. I would say change your expectations for a job that will suit and let that be. I think that'll help. All right. Here we go, my friends. From my perspective, I have answered every question. I am so sorry if I missed you. It is last call right now. So if you're here and haven't asked a question, please do. If I skipped you, please let me know. And I'm so sorry. It's never my intention. I want to remind all the members, we have a members-only live stream coming up on the 31st. Tarot and Tunes, we're going to have some fun. I've got the live streams, the live reading streams coming up Friday, Saturday, and Monday. They're already posted. We will have our August events up very soon. Jackie Masters, yes, you were missed. Thank you so much. And why would I ever want to miss Jackie? I am so sorry, Jackie. Let me go back and find you. Thank you for being a member. We really appreciate you. You've been a member for more than 2 years. Thank you so much. What do I need to do to stay in tune with the flow? There is the question. Ooh. Card on the floor. and it's the world. And what I'm going to say is try not to let little inconveniences get you down. You know, what was that? Don't sweat the small stuff, and it's all small stuff. And I mean, that's not really true. But honor what you feel, but try to bounce back about little things. Try to stay optimistic. And breathe. Focus on your breath and focus on your goals. Breath, goals, breath, goals, breath, goals. That's for you, Jackie Masters, but other people might find that, because that works for me too. Breath, goals, breath, goals. Breathing my goals, thinking about my goals, breathing in my goals, thinking about my goals. All right, who else did I skip? Did I skip anyone else? Please let me know if I did. It is never my intention. Okay. Right, breath goals. Breathing, I mean, I know if we're not breathing, we're having a serious problem, right? But conscious breathing is so much of everything. It really is. It really is. So, my friends, Claire C., thank you for this discussion and readings. It was enlightening. Thank you all so much for being part of this. This is like my favorite thing to talk about. Ben, I noticed you suggested a further discussion at StaarCon on what we were talking about. I think it's a great idea. You and I will need to get together and talk about that. I appreciate you volunteering to take over pub time. So I do appreciate that. And like, these are my favorite things to talk about in the whole world. So thank you all for talking about them with me. I really appreciate you. Check the description. Subscribe to the newsletter. Get a reading with me. Get your StaarCon ticket. I will look forward to seeing you all soon. Thank you so very much.